All right, settle in, everyone. Tonight we are taking a deep dive into a true holiday classic.
A Christmas Carol.
Yes, A Christmas Carol by Charles Dickens. Now, even if you think you know this story backwards and forwards,
I bet there are still some surprises waiting for you.
I think so too. We are going to journey alongside Ebenezer Scrooge
From his miserly beginnings,
to hopefully a heartwarming transformation.
all in one very eventful Christmas Eve. And along the way, we'll uncover those timeless life lessons that Dickens wove into his tale.
And there are a lot of them. Hey, so let's talk about Scrooge.
Yeah, let's start with the man himself. Dickens, I think, he paints a very vivid picture of Scrooge right from the start, right? He's as solitary as an oyster.
He despises anything associated with Christmas cheer.
Yeah.
That famous humbug
Oh, yeah.
is really just the tip of the iceberg.
It's like a Scrooge-shaped iceberg of grumpiness.
Oh, got it.
I mean, so I'm curious, beyond that obvious miserly behavior, what do you think Dickens is trying to show us about Scrooge's character in those early pages? You know, it's like he's inviting us to look beyond just the gruff exterior. Because remember when Scrooge calls Bob Cratchit a lunatic for wishing him a Merry Christmas?
Right. And then he even threatens to send him
To Bedlam.
to Bedlam. It's so over the top, even for Scrooge.
It is, isn't it? There's a defensiveness, a fear of maybe vulnerability that comes through.
Interesting.
Scrooge has built these walls around himself, convinced that joy and generosity are weaknesses.
And that makes you wonder what could have happened to make him so cynical.
Yeah.
Right.
And that's where the brilliance of Dickens really comes in. He doesn't just give us this villain. We start to see glimpses of the experiences that made Scrooge who he is. But we'll get to those later.
Okay.
Right. But for now, well...
Scrooge gets a wake-up call
No, yeah.
in the form of a ghostly visitor.
A ghostly visitor indeed.
The ghost of Jacob Marley, his deceased business partner. The way that Dickens describes Marley's arrival, it's
so haunting.
it really is. Weighed down by those chains, forged from his own greed, the cash boxes, the ledgers.
It's all there.
It's all there. It's just such a visual.
It's terrifying.
It's scary.
Yeah.
And symbolic.
Yes, exactly.
And then Marley says that line to Scrooge, "Mankind was my business."
It really sends chills down your spine, doesn't it?
It does, because he's doomed to wander the earth, right? Witnessing all the happiness he can't share anymore.
Because he just didn't value human connection
Yeah.
when he was alive. It's a warning, not just for Scrooge, but for all of us, really, isn't it?
Yeah.
Are we so caught up in our own pursuits that we forget what really matters?
Wow.
Family, compassion, even just simple acts of caring for others.
So Dickens manages to pack so much into what basically starts as a ghost story, right?
Yes.
And it's not just doom and gloom. There's also this glimmer of hope, this chance for redemption.
Angel the Three Spirits.
Oh yeah, the ghost of Christmas, past, present, and yet to come. It's like this ghostly intervention.
The ghostly intervention, yeah.
But it's not just spooky.
Right.
It's actually very strategic. Each of these spirits offers Scrooge and us a different perspective on life.
It's like Dickens is telling us, hey, if you want to change your life, you have to look back and be present and consider where you're headed.
So let's start with the first of the spirits.
The ghost of Christmas past.
The ghost of Christmas past. Now, this spirit takes Scrooge on a journey back in time.
To some key moments from his childhood and youth.
Yeah, so we first see young Scrooge at boarding school. This lonely boy left behind during the holidays.
Oh.
It's so sad.
It is. It's a poignant reminder of the need for empathy, especially for those who feel isolated.
Especially during a time of year that's supposed to be about togetherness.
That's right.
Yeah.
And it also makes you think about those early experiences, right? How they can stick with us.
Yeah, they can really shape you.
They really can.
Yeah, and then the ghost takes us to see Scrooge as an apprentice working for the super jovial Mr. Fezziwig.
What a contrast.
I know. It's like a complete 180.
Fezziwig's warmth and generosity are just so refreshing, especially compared to the icy atmosphere of Scrooge's counting house.
It's like we're seeing a different path that Scrooge could have taken, one that was filled with joy and connection.
Instead of those cold, calculated transactions.
Yeah, exactly.
And it's interesting because Scrooge himself seems moved by these memories. Remember how he defends Fezziwig, saying it's not about the money, but the power to make others happy?
Yeah.
It's a little spark of recognition. It's like a glimpse of who he maybe once was.
Oh.
Or who he could still be.
Okay, but then we get to the part where Scrooge revisits his broken engagement with Belle.
Oh, yeah.
This is where we really start to see how prioritizing money over love can have devastating consequences.
That's right.
Belle's words are so heartbreaking.
Yeah. But there's this quiet dignity about her, you know? She sees how Scrooge has changed. His heart's grown cold, chasing after riches. Another idol has displaced me, she says. And at that moment, she realizes it's over. Their paths have diverged.
And it's just a reminder, I think, that true wealth lies in the connections we forge, in the love we share.
Not in the size of our bank accounts.
It leaves Scrooge shaken, doesn't it?
He's begging the ghost to take him back.
He can't bear it anymore.
You can practically feel the regret just radiating off of him. The ghost of Christmas past has really cracked open his defenses, forcing him to confront those emotions he's kept buried for so long.
But of course, that's just the first of his ghostly encounters.
The night is still young.
The night is young.
And now, Scrooge is about to have a very different encounter with the ghost of Christmas present.
This ghost is a total change of pace.
Right. No more chains or doom and gloom.
It's like this big.
Jolly.
Yeah, jolly. Like a Christmas stocking overflowing with goodies.
Exactly. Dickens describes him surrounded by food and festivity. It's almost overwhelming.
Especially for someone like Scrooge.
Yeah. I think there's a deeper message here, too, don't you?
Oh, for sure. It's more than just spreading holiday cheer. It's about shining a light on those less fortunate. Like when they stand outside the bakery.
Oh, that scene is so powerful.
It is. People bringing out their little meals to be cooked.
Yeah.
Just small detail.
That's so telling.
I know. It really speaks to the realities of poverty, even during the holidays.
And how the ghost blesses every meal.
I noticed that.
It's like he's emphasizing the dignity of everyone, no matter their circumstances.
I like that Dickens shows us different kinds of Christmas celebrations, too.
Yeah, from the miners to the lighthouse keepers.
Even that quiet family gathered around a simple meal.
It reminds us that Christmas is universal.
Celebrated in different ways.
But with that shared feeling of connection.
And we can't talk about Christmas present without talking about the Cratchits.
Oh, absolutely not.
They really are the heart of the story, aren't they?
They are. They might not have much, but their love and gratitude just shines through.
It's so beautiful.
Isn't it? It's a reminder to find joy in the simple things.
Like the goose.
Yes, the goose and Tiny Tim's toast.
God bless us, everyone.
Every time I read that, it just gets me.
Me too. Speaking of Tiny Tim,
yes.
What do you make of his character?
He's this frail little boy.
He's so small.
But he has such a big spirit.
He does. Full of innocence.
And resilience.
And faith.
Yeah, he reminds us to be grateful even when things are tough.
But his fate is uncertain, right?
Yes, unfortunately. The ghost reveals that Tiny Tim might not survive.
Unless things change.
And here's where we see a real shift in Scrooge.
He does start to show some emotion.
Remember how he dismissed the poor before? Saying we should decrease the surplus population?
Awful, I know.
But now, faced with the potential loss of this child,
he pleads with the ghost.
Say he will be spared.
It's like his heart is finally thawing.
It is. And of course, the ghost of Christmas present doesn't let him off the hook.
He throws those words right back at him.
Yeah.
It's a wake-up call.
It is. But before moving on, the ghost reveals one more image.
Those two children.
Ignorance and want.
Hiding under the ghost's robes. So chilling.
It's a reminder of those social ills that plagued Dickens' time.
And still resonate with us today.
Sadly, yes. This ghost isn't just about celebrating the present, it's about acknowledging the challenges.
And working to create a better future.
And then the ghost disappears.
Leaving Scrooge to face his final ghostly encounter.
The ghost of Christmas yet to come. That's where things get really interesting.
Now this ghost is different, isn't it?
Oh, yeah. Christmas yet to come is...
This is a whole other level of spooky.
It's less of a jolly spirit, more like a...
Like a walking premonition, right?
Exactly. Shrouded in darkness, silent.
Don't say anything.
Just points with the bony finger.
Yeah, and Dickens really taps into that fear of the unknown, right?
Oh, absolutely.
It's like, what's going to happen?
It really is.
It's not about heartwarming scenes anymore.
Oh.
It's like a silent film playing out the worst case scenario.
It is. Yeah. And it's all about showing Scrooge what might happen if he doesn't change.
And these scenes are, well, they're chilling.
They're meant to be.
But they also make you think.
They do.
So we see these businessmen talking about some nameless miser who's died.
No grief, no respect.
Nobody cares.
Just a scramble for his possessions.
Like Scrooge is already forgotten.
And that's the void he's created around himself. So focused on money, he's lost all human connection.
And then we see the Cratchits.
Yeah.
But this time, there's an empty chair.
Tiny Tim.
Tiny Tim is gone.
It's heartbreaking.
You can just feel the sadness.
The family's trying to celebrate.
But the joy just isn't there.
Bob Cratchit, though.
Oh, it's so sad.
He still speaks of his son with so much love.
It really shows that family bonds endure.
They do, even in the face of loss.
And this is the turning point for Scrooge, isn't it?
Yes, he finally understands the impact of his choices.
Remember how we talked about decreasing the surplus population?
I know, it's hard to believe he ever said that.
But now he sees the human cost of his indifference.
That's right, and he's devastated.
He begs for another chance.
Pleading with the ghost to change the future.
It's a cry for redemption.
It is.
And there's this glimmer of hope, right?
The ghost's hand trembles.
Like maybe things can be different.
Could be.
And like
Luke wakes up.
Scrooge wakes up. It's Christmas morning.
A Christmas miracle.
He's alive. He's well. And most importantly,
He's changed.
he's like a new man.
Fills with this energy and enthusiasm.
Remember how he throws open the window and shouts, "Merry Christmas" to everyone?
It's incredible, isn't it?
It's amazing. And it's not just talk.
No, he actually starts making amends.
Sending the turkey to the Cratchits.
Giving Bob Cratchit a raise.
Donating to charity.
He's spreading kindness everywhere he goes.
And it really does seem contagious.
It does. Even Bob Cratchit is shocked.
And Dickens makes it clear that this is a lasting change, right?
Oh, absolutely. Scrooge keeps that Christmas spirit alive all year round.
So what can our listeners take away from all this?
Well, I think A Christmas Carol shows us that it's never too late to change.
To choose kindness over greed.
And to value human connection above all else.
It's a story about redemption and second chances.
And the power we all have to make a difference.
And as we go into this holiday season,
Let's remember Scrooge's journey.
and try to be a little kinder,
A little more generous.
a lot more present in the lives of those we love.
And as Tiny Tim said,
Oh yes,
God bless us.
everyone.
Everyone.